Good morning, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with the Trumpet for My People. Today is December 30th, 2017. And yesterday I shared with you about the perfect 10 and how everything is showing us that we must leave before the end of this year, before 2018. All signs point to 2017. And I shared that with you yesterday in an extensive video with many teachings and proofs of what I am sharing. Then we had all the signs, the perfect 10 signs that lead us to December 31st. This was all included in my video yesterday. Now today I want to share with you how everything is connected to the Revelation 12 sign. And we have our 100-day connection, which is 10 times 10 from September 23rd. And then we have the 80 days from the last day of Tabernacles, when Jupiter was leaving Virgo completely on the last day of Tabernacles. We have 80 days that lead us to December 31st. This is broken down. These 80 days are broken down into 66 days, which brings us to the sign of the dragon on December 17th, and 14 more days leading us to December 31st. Okay, over the last months we have been searching for the understanding on all of this, and we tried to connect the 80 days to September 23rd. We tried to connect the 80 days from the Day of Atonement, but now we have an 80-day connection from October 12th, and we have our 66-day sign, which was the sign of the dragon. Okay, and on the sign of the dragon, that was on December 17th, I shared with you that there would be some type of an event that would come out, and some type of revealing moment of Barack Obama. And that was on that day, December 17th, where the interview trailer came out with Prince Harry that showed that he was interviewed during the Invictus Games, which is I Am Sol Invictus, and it revealed the date, September 23rd to 30th, and it revealed the leopard, and it revealed the connection between the dragon sign and the Revelation 12 sign based on the dates. Okay, based on the dates. Then from the dragon sign, then we have 14 days to December 31st. And so what we have then is we have our 80 days from the last day of Tabernacles to December 31st, 2017. Okay, now let's look at the scriptures that are connected to all of this. Okay, Revelation chapter 12. The scriptures that are connected to this, we're going to be looking at Revelation chapter 12, Leviticus chapter 12, and Acts 27:27. Okay, Revelation 12. Now a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a garland of 12 stars. Then being with child, she cried out in labor and in pain to give birth. Okay, this sign was on September 23rd. But the rapture did not happen, and the child was giving birth, but it had not left completely Virgo yet. And so we continued to watch that until Jupiter left Virgo on the last day of Tabernacles, October 12th. And so then it goes on to say, another sign appeared in heaven. Behold, a great fiery red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, 7 diadems on his heads. His tail drew a third of the stars of heaven and threw them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was ready to give birth, to devour her child as soon as it was born. She bore a male child, who was to rule all nations with the rod of iron, and her child was caught up to God and to his throne. Okay, so we have the birthing event on September 23rd, the alignment that confirms the sign. Then we have Jupiter leaving Virgo completely on the last day of Tabernacles. 66 days later, we have a sign, which is the sign of the dragon receiving power. And then we have what hasn't happened yet, and we're still waiting for. And what I'm sharing is the connection to being caught up is the final 14 days on the 80-day process, the 80-day birthing process from Jupiter leaving Virgo. So we've got our 80 days from October 12th to December 31st. And this is connected by 66 days and 14 days. Now, how do we see this in the Scriptures? Well, we have our Leviticus 12 birthing rites on the female. Okay, for those who were expecting a 40-day connection, all 40-day connections have passed, and the rapture has not happened. So, Jesus is not going to be born again out of a virgin. So what we have, this sign is the sign of the Antichrist being born out of a virgin, Virgo. It's a sign in the heavens, just as Jesus came with the sign in the heavens in the first coming. The second coming is also connected to a birth sign in the heavens. And so we have in Leviticus chapter 12 the ritual after childbirth, and we have the male child that is from 1 through 4, but the female child in verse 5, it says, "But if she bears a female child, she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her customary impurity, and she shall continue in the blood of her purification 66 days." So we have an 80-day process broken down into 2 time periods, 14 days and 66 days. And so originally we were looking at from the Day of Atonement to the last day of Tabernacles was 14 days and 66 days to the sign of the dragon. But that did not produce rapture. And so we have another 80-day connection that we're still looking at. And now here we have all the signs that have come. The sign of Jupiter leaving Virgo on the last day of Tabernacles. The sign of the dragon on December 17th that produced the interview of Barack Obama. And then we have the 14 days leading us to this perfect 10, as we've already shared. The signs show we cannot go into 2018. So we've got everything leading us by 100 days, by 80 days, by 66 days, by 14 days, leading us to the last day of 2017. And then we have a text that I saw yesterday when I was talking about midnight. And then we have this text that I saw yesterday as we were talking about midnight. And this was a very interesting connection. This is the last use of midnight in the New Testament. The last use of midnight. There's 12 uses of midnight. So it's interesting that this 12th usage of midnight has a connection that gives us understanding within the Revelation 12 sign. And here it says, "Now when the 14th night had come, as we were driven up and down in the Adriatic Sea, about midnight, the sailors sensed that they were drawing near some land." So we have a 14-day connection leading us to midnight from the last usage of midnight in the New Testament. Okay, and so what we have is a 14-day connection. When we came to the 14th night, we were approaching midnight, and we came upon the land. So the the trip, the stormy trip that we have been following, that we have been in, that leads us to this point, is on the 14th night, coming to midnight. So we have this connection between the dragon sign in the last 14 days and the last usage of midnight in the New Testament. The 14th night, about midnight. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so here we have our confirmation of all the day counts. October 12th, 2017 to December 17th, to the dragon sign, the last day of Tabernacles, when Jupiter left Virgo, to the sign of the dragon, we have 66 days. Then we have 14 days from the 17th to the 31st, and we have 80 days total from October 12th to December 31st. 14, 66, and 80. Okay? And then what did we have just 3 days ago? Just 3 days ago, also connected to the sign of the dragon, when on December 17th, the trailer for the interview came out, but the actual interview came out on December 27th. What did Barack Obama say on December 27th?
It was just a few generations ago, at a time when your grandmother, Her Majesty, was already an adult, when half the world was aflame and 60 million people were killed in a great global war. And when you think about the strides we've made just in my lifetime, and I have some gray hair, but on the scale of human history, I'm a blink of the eye.